Welcome to episode 2 of Dead Faith, presented by Detect Nerd. I'm your Dungeon Master, Chris Dijak, and joining me today are...
Colter Janssen as Leofric Blackwood.
Elizabeth Keach as Sylvia Hawthorne.
Doug Miller as Horace Knight Plum.
And Jay Sparks as Orwell Blackwraith.
Did you forget your...
No.
It felt like...
Yeah. Getting around.
All right. Last episode, we introduced ourselves to our party of adventurers here, who all congregated at the port town of Gullman's Port. All here for various reasons of their own, heading to the small island of Holmouth Isle. They arrived and made contact with one Father Thomas Frame, who showed them about the town a bit, supplied them with food and lodging, as they are here to hopefully explore the wreckage of the Dead Faith and perhaps find a missing person if they are here to be found. But we're going to pick back up where we left off, with the group of you finding your way back to the small house that you were all staying at after, to certain degrees, finding some information about the town a little bit. So yeah, you guys have all gathered back together.
What has Hodge been doing this whole time?
You don't know where Hodge went.
We sort of drifted off into the night.
He was at dinner, though, right?
He was with us at dinner. Then afterwards, we didn't see or hear him, I don't believe.
Hodge went and did out a bit of his own reconnaissance.
Is he back with us now at the house?
Yes.
So, Hodge, where did you run off to?
Just taking in the local sights.
They're right here. There's only the one site. Right to this downtown.
Oh, that's a beautiful sight. Had to really take it all in.
Could I make an insight check?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, me too. 17.
12.
I mean, pretty easy. Hodge is the kind of dude who is going to go and do a little more exploring. Like, you assume that whatever you guys were doing, he was kind of doing something similar, probably just with his own tact, his own approach to it.
So, in the sites that you saw, did you see anything you'd like to share?
Seems like a small fishing town, but quiet. Not even a fishing town, I suppose. It's just a little place out on a lonely rock out in the middle of the ocean.
So, nothing. Great. So, does anybody else...
What did you find,
I
Miss
found
Hawthorne?
a woman that couldn't hear very well, and, got distracted by a lot of faces.
Oh, well, good.
And, but I'm curious, we all parted ways, so I'm just curious what everybody else might have run into.
Well, I just took had a brief conversation with some barnacles. Mm-hmm. And they seemed rather alarmed by the idea of the ghost lights, as if they're not just an optical phenomenon, but something that might pose a threat to sea life, whatever that might mean.
Interesting.
On those lines, my informants here in town spoke to me about the fact that Father Frayne sometimes becomes ill and is unable to perform his duties, and they noticed that is when the ghost lights seem to occur the most.
That's curious.
And I trust my informants dearly.
Of course. Now, when you were talking with your informants, you wouldn't happen to produce any magical qualities around them at all?
Why?
I'm just curious. It's a small town. I'm just curious on how they would react.
Well, some of the folks seemed a little taken aback by it, but my informants seemed duly pleased.
Very good.
So, magic, you need some sort of sleight of hand.
In a way.
Sure, yeah.
If that makes you sleep better at night.
I said it very well.
Optical
Thank you.
illusions, if you will.
Leofric, did you find anything?
Well, I did. Yep.
Hodge
Please.
looks at you, sort of like it is just staring at you, and says, "And that was."
There's something more sinister that is happening here on this island.
Some sort of law breaking?
Perhaps the natural law.
Depends on what kind of laws you're speaking of, but yes. I believe that there is much more at work aside from the natural progression of things that we are seeing. Something darker, sinister. I'm not sure what yet, but I think we should be on guard.
Very good.
Well, sweet dreams.
Well, I will say briefly, I did sense earlier, and I remarked to you secretly, that Father Frayne does seem to be up about something with Alice.
Yes,
And with your comments, I feel like he seems more and more a sketchy character.
When he first was introduced to us, I also noticed that there's something more to him that he's not speaking to. So, keep an eye on that chap, yeah? And, do you think he might come down with his sickness anytime soon when we're here on the
Suggesting
island?
poison?
No.
Oh.
Although, no.
Maybe, but
No, I just might follow him around. Do we know where he stays? Does he stay in the longhouse?
he stays at the longhouse. He has his quarters up there.
Okay.
What if we invited him to come with us so we could keep our eye on him?
Yes.
There's no harm in asking.
Right. To check on the ship or
Yes.
Sure.
He would know about...
Maybe to keep the peace with Yagra, too. She did not seem happy
Good
to
point.
see us.
No,
She
did not.
may be less happy to have another passenger to row, but sure. So are you also suggesting we nip out and...
I might. I'm rather a sleuth in the dark, so if
I
can-
may too. Can I make a dexterity check?
What are you doing?
Just to show how dexterous you are.
But what are you?
I stand up and immediately knock over a lamp with my tail.
You have a tail?
Yes! He's a whale. He's got a big old tail.
He's whale tailing all the time.
Yeah.
He has a whole whale tail.
Yeah. I mean, it's not immense, but I should have looked out for that lamp. I have to be careful when I turn, because it might...
Things are unfolding that I...
You've known me for
That's
years!
a word! Yes, maybe you should get some sleep, and maybe I'll...
Maybe I'm not the most stealthy.
Yes, maybe not the one to be joining me on that.
Very good.
Don't want anybody bogging... I almost said whaling me down, but I didn't want to... cause waves.
Aren't you leaving?
Yeah, what time is it?
It's getting late. Like,
Okay.
it's about that time that
Yeah.
people are kind of, like, winding down.
Sylvia takes note of what time it is and jots down in her... What time is it?
It's like 9.
Okay.
William Hodge speaks up and looks at you and says, I don't know, I just got this feeling that perhaps we go see what the ship has to offer before we go alienating our hosts.
Oh, but she's very good at what she does. No one would ever know.
Of course, I wouldn't possibly go tonight.
All I'm saying is it's going to be a long day tomorrow, and we have the whole island to ourselves for some time, so I don't think there's necessarily any rush in going and breaking and entering.
Oh, no one spoke of breaking and entering.
Who said breaking and entering?
Look-see.
Just a look-see.
I mean, Sylvia has notoriously
Listen,
stiff knees that need to be
You
stretched.
don't need to know anything of what I do. Just know that I...
But in this regard, whatever you do reflects upon B&H.
Right, what you don't know won't hurt you, so...
But it's my job to know
We'll
everything.
be all right.
Yes.
Come on,
Okay.
Hodge.
Why don't I stay in the room with you this evening?
No, I'm a woman. I don't share rooms
That'd
with
be
anybody.
highly improper.
Very improper.
Sure, of course. Okay. So,
Well, it's off to bed.
Yes. We'll all stay in tonight.
so you all settle in for the evening, right?
I do change into a long white cotton
Oh my
robe
God.
with a cap.
Do you have
of
the?
course.
Okay,
Oh.
all right.
You would.
Sylvia's gonna wait until it sounds like people are quieted down.
Okay.
Maybe waiting for some snoring
Sure.
from this guy.
It's gonna sound like the ocean. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I thought
Does
you
it come out
said-
your
It
bowl?
comes out the wall.
Oh.
There's
I was
no
hoping- Yeah, I was really hoping your stories would sound like whale songs.
It's not over yet.
I'm gonna message Leofric in your mind, and I'm going to say, Psst, are you awake?
Of course.
All right. Are you up for a little look-see?
What did you have in mind?
Well, thinking about going to the longhouse and just, checking in on Father. And just seeing what... Maybe he's just sleeping. But maybe just taking a look-see.
I think we could do that.
Okay.
Sure.
So I'm gonna go take a look-see.
Okay.
Do you want me to stealth out of here?
Sneak
So...
out.
If you would like to, yeah. Go ahead and give me perceptions along with that.
Sure. Nat 1 perception.
Was that perception or was that stealth?
That was, you said perception?
Uh-huh. Now,
No, that's good.
Then I got a really good stealth. I got a 26.
26? Okay.
I got a 14 on stealth. and
Okay.
I got an 8 on perception.
So as you guys begin to sneak up to the longhouse, you do see, or I'm sorry, what you don't see,
I don't see anything.
neither of you see, but Leofric, you hear the voice of Yagra shout out to you and say, "What are you doing out and about?" You see she is standing, as she says
My
this, she's
26 stealth?
talking to Leofric.
Oh, okay.
It's a group.
Well, hey, she saw you, she didn't see
We're not doing anything.
Hawthorne.
Okay.
Fair.
I'm like,
Yeah, right?
Getting a bit lost out here in the dark, are we?
I do apologize. I was headed over to the boat. I had left some belongings on the boat.
Back that way.
Of course. I had gotten lost on the way back. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to go knocking around, and was actually coming to see the father But if you could point me in the direction of our house again.
Father's asleep.
Sure, yes. And he just seemed the most welcoming, so I just didn't want to wake anyone in the town without their knowing. But yes, if you could point me in the direction of where we're staying again, yeah.
She points at the house that is like 2 houses away. Because as I said, you guys are staying in a house pretty close to the longhouse.
Right.
So it's like you walked out the front door and started sneaking up and did not see Yagra standing by the front door of the longhouse just with a torch.
All right. Well, thank you for the direction. See you in the morning. And I walk back.
Get some sleep. Early morning tomorrow.
You as well. Head back.
You watch that interaction.
So, where are windows around this building?
Mostly in front.
Okay.
It's pretty long. There's like 4 windows on either side, or I guess 6, or there's as many as they need. But they're regular sized windows. There are several along the front of the house, as well as a couple kind of along the sides. You kind of notice the back of this building is almost butted up to like a small hill. Mm-hmm. So obviously there are no windows, back there.
It's a one-story building?
Yes.
I would just like to peek into windows around the sides.
Sure. Give me investigation.
Come on, give me money. 15.
15. Okay. So as you're sort of like looking and peeking through the windows and going around the building, you do peek into one of them, and you do see what appears to be the father's quarters. Mm-hmm. You can give me a little stealthy check, too.
Me?
Yeah.
18.
18. Okay. As you are peeking in this window, you see the father is sitting at a small desk. He appears to be writing by candlelight. And as you're looking through this window, you see he turns his head and looks out of the window. Kind of sighs, and then goes back to writing.
Okay. Anything else in the office that or in his room that seems like anything unusual?
A lot. Not unusual. It's very sparse.
Yeah.
You do see some religious iconography of Kushala, hanging up all over the place. Some small shrines. But other than that, it's pretty much exactly what you'd expect of a guy who leads sort of a religious community.
Okay. I'm going to make my way back to the house.
Okay. We'll ride that 26 stealth check to get back.
Okay. I think that's all I wanted to do.
Okay.
You're welcome for the distraction.
I didn't need it.
Well, agree to disagree.
Fighting like cats and dogs.
Yeah, I didn't need it, so.
Did you find anything?
No, he's just writing. Extremely boring. Just looking out a window.
Oh no, I expected so much excitement from someone in this town.
You don't know.
Expected him to see him slitting someone's throat over a bowl.
We've seen some things. I don't know. I was just checking in. Maybe he was going to be sick tonight. Didn't want to miss it.
Of course. Okay, so you all settle in, get your rest, and wake up the next morning.
I do get up rather early and switch into my striped bathing suit and go to the shore and dive in for my morning swim.
And that water's cold.
Yes, in the bay I shall swim perhaps for a mile before I return. Do some more calisthenics and get dressed for the day.
Sure. And he doesn't make it back. I'm kidding.
Is there anything unusual that I might notice in the bay, say, as I'm swimming?
Not particularly. I think you get a close-up of some of these, like, thane fish, or thane fin tuna.
Yeah. What makes them different than a normal tuna?
they're just a different species, really. They're slightly bigger. They're a little hardier than your average tuna. They're really this is one of the only places that people have found to be able to fish them. But other than that, they're pretty much just big tuna.
Very well. As I swim by, I say, "Good day, good day."
They do not really acknowledge you,
Oh,
which is strange.
that is strange.
Uptight.
Right? I mean, I know they know what I'm saying.
I know you hear me talking to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you honestly, you kind of get that vibe from them that they're not speaking to you.
It's curious.
Yeah.
When you get back to the house,
Yeah.
you see Sylvia tinkering with some things and taking things out of her vest.
Are you fiddling with that vest again?
And she pulls out a kit, and she kind of fiddles with it. And today she pulled out a forgery kit.
Oh, interesting.
You might come in handy, might not. But she tucks it back in her vest. Takes note of the time that you entered.
I was swimming. I was swimming in the bay.
And what time would it be, you think? How early do you...
I mean, sunrise, whenever the sun rises.
'Kay.
And then,
7.
Okay.
yeah.
So I'll take note of it.
And then it took me a while to do it, so maybe, let's say 8 by the
Okay.
time I get back.
Right.
With Sentry's Rest, with the Warforged, would I have seen anything overnight? Did anything occur?
You were just resting in the house, right?
I would have been in the front room, watching the front
room.
door. Okay.
No. Seemed like it was all safe. Mr. Hodge sort of joins you guys and says, well, I suppose it's about that time. We should probably go and maybe head up to the Longhouse, meet up with Father and Yagra, decide when we're going to leave. But I assume it will be earlier in the morning so we can have the afternoon to look around and make it back by dinner.
Very well.
Okay, so you guys proceed outside, and you see that a lot of people are already busy working on these houses that it looks like they've been building. And you see that the father is actually helping sort of direct the hoisting of this very large beam. And it looks like Yagra is helping in this. And as you guys approach, you hear the telltale sound of a strained rope beginning to give. And before you can even see or take in what's going on, as the father turns and gives you all a wave, the rope pulling this very large beam snaps, and you see this beam fall and collapse right onto the father.
I run up to...
Yeah, it's
So we would all run up and...
it's as you guys get up there, you see that this beam was probably yay wide, and it's like square, so it's a very large post. And you see people are already pulling and trying to hoist it up and pull it aside. And go ahead and what would you guys like to do as you approach the scene?
I would certainly like to try to lift, with my strength, lift the beam.
Sure. Go and give me a strength check.
Can I see where the rope was and where it was tied to and what was going on there?
It looks like they had hoisted it over another sort of like beam on the house, and were using that as almost like a pulley or like leverage to help pull this beam up. And you see a series of people sort of like...
I'm gonna feign looking very nervous. I mean, I guess I'm shocked.
Okay.
But I'm also gonna look around the crowd and see if there's anybody that is kind of on the outside watching and not so shocked, or you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like something
sure.
like
Give me
that. Just like
investigation.
inciting what the crowd is doing.
Yeah.
Kind of. Investigation? Okay.
By the way, I'm straining at this very, very heavy beam with a 7.
With a 7? Okay. Well, there are people helping, so you can go and roll an advantage if you'd like.
Thank you.
Can I do? I want to run up to the father. Can I do a medicine check? Like where, like did it fully fall on like head, body, like
All
crushed?
of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still want to do like
You
a
can-
medicine check to
yeah.
see if
Go
there's
make
any
medicine.
life here or if he's kaput. Yeah.
I got a dirty 20 in my investigation,
Okay.
looking around the audience and crowd and everything. Especially big lady. What's her name?
Yagra?
Yeah.
Yagra is, you see Yagra is like
Very.
helping. Yeah, she's almost, like, a lot of people are like helping with certain sections of the post, and she just like walks over and grabs the end of it and just like with her knees lifts one end and sort of like hoists it up.
Is there anyone else? Anything else that sticks out to me? Anybody?
Everyone in town seems to look pretty panicked.
Two things. Well, I put my legs into it with a 21.
Okay. All right. And with that, you manage to hoist this giant beam off of him.
Right.
And as you approach and make your medicine check,
I get a 17.
17, eyes are open, but nobody's home. You get the sense.
No. Okay.
You get the sense that he was crushed
Immediately.
And as they begin to sort of lift this beam off of him, you see that they are picking him up and people are beginning to carry him into the longhouse. And Yagra does. She says, wait here. I'll be back to check on you shortly. As they sort of like bring him and take him into the longhouse.
I'm sorry, I was focusing on the lifting. What? You were looking at the rope. What happened?
I was looking at the rope. Did I notice anything particularly? It just snapped.
It just snapped.
It just
like
snapped.
this was an old sort of weathered rope that looked like it had some rot to it.
Rather careless.
Careless at this small isolated village. Yeah, I think you can tell that this was not foul play.
Okay. Doesn't seem. It seems like an accident.
Seems like a strange coincidence.
Synchronicity, huh?
Yes.
Feels a little awkward that I'm like, let's get to that ship. You know what I mean? Feels a little awkward because I'm like, we should probably get a move on. Is there anybody else hanging around the scene, or were they all following?
There were still some townsfolk. It was probably a group of like 4 or 5 people that brought him into the longhouse.
That are going into
with
the
Yagra.
longhouse,
Yeah.
and then everybody else is.
They kind of begin. Some people are kind of like milling about, sort of like not sure what to do. Some look like they're almost like resetting and getting ready to try and go back about their day. I mean, everyone seems very unsettled.
Okay.
Especially in these like moments immediately after it happened. Everyone
Right.
is in a bit of shock.
Well, I hope you had properly provided for us heirs with some sort of...
Maybe you should check on that.
Yes. Probably too late now to... Yes.
Very well. That happened. So, do we continue on? Find.
Well, I suppose we need Yagra, don't we?
And it does take about 30-ish minutes, but Yagra does eventually come out. She says, Father's resting, but he should make it.
What? I thought he was quite... I'm sorry to say, I thought he was quite dead.
May we see him?
I'm afraid not. He needs his rest right now, but
I'm
I
a
will say
doctor.
He's a doctor.
Maybe, perhaps I could help.
no offense, Dr. Nightplum, but we have our own ways around here, and Gashala has been looking after not just us, but his family for quite some time.
He does have a family. Does he have descendants?
Well, I just mean
Family.
Gashala being the one who
It's a
originally
religious
provided
Yes, I understand.
who provided the bounty to his father when his father washed ashore here.
But does he have descendants?
Not that I'm aware of, no. Never took a wife, never had children.
So if the unthinkable were to happen and he were to pass beyond the mortal coil, who would take his place? as leader of this community?
At this point, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
Well, I'm glad we didn't get to that point today. Well, it's very good news.
Yes, he expect he'll make a recovery.
Can I do an insight on that?
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know what you saw. And I think you're pretty skeptical of just, like, he's dead. Or at least that's kind of, like, where Leofric stands. He thinks that she's probably either holding out hope that isn't real, or... Yeah, I think that's the vibe that you get, that he's dead, but she is just hoping that a miracle will occur.
I see.
Oh.
I guess we don't know that. You know that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's on a 7 insight. Yeah. And she says, well, we did say we would get you to that ship, so I suppose it might be time to...
If it's all right, if you feel the situation is stable here, do you feel...
He's in good hands now.
So you have no doctor, but you've got the...
There's a couple folks here who know a thing or two about it. They're well applied enough to know how to take care of the father during times like these.
Very well.
As you wish. This is your home. You have your way of doing things.
Yes, I'd just as soon see you lot get what you need and be on your way.
Well, that's very kind.
Just trying to help.
Can I do an insight to see if that was actually kind?
No, you don't need to. You don't need to roll. No, she does not want any of you here.
I just look at Horace and
Yeah.
I'm like,
Horace knew what she was
yeah.
saying. Well, let's be on our way and get this over with.
Sure was wishing that father could help us.
Yes.
It's very interesting.
I suppose he's not going to be helping anybody.
Soon.
Anytime. Do you have... So in these instances, it's a little morbid, but do you have a backup father?
Backup father?
You know, like if something happens, of course you'd want them to
He was incapacitated.
passive old age, of course. But I'm just saying, in instances like, is there anybody...
Well, that's what
Like
Horace was.
but no, like just if he was busy.
Oh,
if
I
there's any-
thought you meant monetarily, but...
No, I actually meant if he had passed, if there's somebody else to take the
Oh,
reins.
gotcha.
But also if there's, more than need, if there's an assistant father.
You
That's
looking
what I
at
meant
him?
by backup father.
What's that? Oh, you... Oh,
I
very-
take over anytime the father needs an extra hand with the service or what have you.
I heard about his illness. That's
Or the
interesting.
illness.
Rumblings about town. We've heard. Does he have some sort of ailment that he is
Spells?
yes.
Something we could help with, perhaps?
Yes,
Remember to get
something that
sick
maybe
from time to time?
some sort of tincture that I could help with. I'm
A balm,
well
an
versed in
unguent,
alchemy.
maybe?
I think we take care of our own just fine.
Okay, can I do an inside check on the sickness when I mention it?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, 22.
22.
Rolling a bunch of 22s over here.
Can I roll an insight in your pause?
It's telling. I'll tell you that. 22. It's almost like she knows what you're talking about, but at the same time, it's sickness isn't the term she would use,
Okay.
and it's not. And you immediately get the beat that she does not want to talk about whatever that is.
Okay. But it registers.
Yes.
Okay. Well, very well. If there's anything, having a doctor and
Yes, I am.
from the inland area might help. And I'm, like I said, well versed in alchemy. So if there's anything that we can do to help, if he's
Guess we'll be back in the afternoon.
Anyway, yes,
check
yep,
up on his
yep.
prognosis and when we get back.
We'll be sure to let you know.
great.
Very
So maybe we should just hop on
Get to
that.
that rowing.
Okay. And yeah, you guys begin to row around the island. And it
Do you
does,
require any help, Yagra, with the rowing?
if you'd like.
All right,
gonna
I'll
say
take one
no.
side.
I mean, it's if we're gonna do it that way, it's just easier. I'll tell you what. Why don't you take both? Nah, this is my boat. Give me these.
All right.
So yeah, after a pause, she's like, "Nah, I don't trust you with my boat." She begins to row out a little rowboat, and you guys circle around, and you do begin to see the opening of what looks like a pretty decent-sized cove, and you also begin to see why larger ships have so much trouble getting through here. At the sort of the mouth of this cove is almost like a minefield of these jagged rocks that stick up, some of them just barely above the tops of the waves. The sorts of things that most people wouldn't see them even if they're looking for them. But Yagra, being the expert navigator and local that she is, seems to safely navigate these. And as you guys pull in, you see that this cove actually begins to recess into the back of the island, to where the actual top, you can see a cliff face that begins to go up above you, almost creating this cave-like structure in the side of the island. And tucked away beneath this little overhang of rock, you guys see the wreck of the Dead Faith.
Okay.
You see that it is in bad shape. There are large holes in the hull. It's been brought up on shore, it looks like, or dragged up on the shore. It looks like the keel has been cracked in half. So this ship is very likely beyond repair.
I've seen quite a few wrecked ships in my time and in my position with H and, B and H. Does the damage I see look consistent with simple running aground? Should I roll for that?
Yeah. Give me investigation.
Natural 20
Ooh.
for 22.
Okay. All right. So on a natural 20 investigation, you see a lot of holes that look like they could have been caused from ships, but as you guys sort of row up to the cove and get close, because this is going to take a little looking into, you see sort of close to some of the holes what look like scrape marks that they're too uniform to be from a rock or even a series of rocks. It's like they almost all
parallel.
start. Yeah. And within one of these little grooves in the ship, you pull out probably about that big, what looks like a hook or a claw made out of bone. It's not a fishing hook.
Hawthorne, what do you make of this?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it.
This is definitely from some sort of sea creature.
Okay.
You would guess that relative to the scale of this thing, just the fact that the hook is that big, this doesn't look like a nail, I guess. It looks like...
Are there some sorts of like cephalopods that have like hooked tentacles?
Yes, thank you. Yes, it looks like a large like hook from like the inside of a sucker on something like that.
And you found this in the...
And there are these claw marks, it appears, on the whole. See here and here, and I pulled out of one of these grooves.
Interesting.
Some sort of...
And now,
I mean, it would be fantastic to imagine the size of a creature that could do this,
Yes.
if that's the case.
Indeed.
What is Yager doing as we're, like, examining this claw and talking about it being an animal?
she has let you guys out and says, well, I do have to get back, check on the father. I was going to...
Oh, so you're dropping us off?
Yes, I was going to leave you all here and come back in maybe a few hours.
I suppose it will take us some time.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't know how I
True.
can help or what I'd have to add here.
Insight on the island on this end? I don't know.
Yes, background information.
Well, that's a cove.
That's the water.
It's water. See, that cove goes all the way back until you hit stone. And that stone goes down in the water. And
Right. Yeah.
it's sort of the end of it.
I'm sorry, I missed this part where you're describing it. How, there's a no, not that part, but seriously, there's kind of an indentation in the rock.
Yeah,
How far back does it go? Can we
Probably like 80 feet.
But it does end in a stone wall.
Yeah, yeah.
Curious.
Wait, the cliff, like the.
The cliff, so you have like cliff face, and then
Yes.
this sort of like almost recessed, almost like a hemispherical sort of like almost dome.
Yeah.
It's
that
almost
creates-
like a cave
Yes.
with a beach floor.
Yes.
And that's where the boat has kind of been.
Yeah.
Shoved to.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there any kind of elevation that's not, I mean, I don't want to do any technical climbing, but any kind of elevation that I can scale up to get a look?
A lot of whatever you would be climbing up here would probably be kind of slick rock. So it's doable, it's scalable, but any sort of elevated position here would probably take at least a bit of climbing.
Okay.
I'm going to.
And now this is just you guys checking out the outside of
Right.
the boat.
And you saw the holes on the bottom of the.
Yes, on the bottom of the hole.
Yeah, of the outside of the ship. Well, Yager, if you must leave, be very safe, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, you lot as well. I'll be back to check on you in a few hours.
Give our best to the father if he wakes.
Maybe like 2 hours. Not
Yeah, that
3.
Two might be better.
2.
Sure.
I mean, I you know.
I'll make it back as quick as I can.
Oh, great.
That's fair. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, shall we? Do you want to look inside?
Yes. Is there a way to get in, like, without it?
Yeah,
being,
yeah. There's a
like-
little like it's.
I'm 4'3", so I can.
Yeah.
I'm also a cat.
You guys could climb in through some of the holes in the hull.
Okay.
Yeah, if they're that big, we can just pop in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I stay on the exterior for the moment?
Sure.
I want to examine. So, I don't know if they're still here, but we're in sand. Can I examine footprints to see if there are any that are sort of out of place
Sure.
for this area?
Sure.
Any
Give me survival.
creature or animals
Yeah.
or anything like that might be strange? 7.
7. Well, this is your favored terrain, right? Mm-hmm. Then roll advantage.
Advantage. That's a little better. 15.
15. Yeah. Actually, you see this strange series of like pulling marks in the sand that looks like it almost looks like several people have have just been crawling along the beach floor or along the beach.
Near the ship, or
You see what looks like a trail, almost like leading from or to the ship, from or to the water. So you can see a trail. You can't tell if it's going to the ship or going to the water, but it does look like there is a strange trail that.
so the trail wouldn't be related to them pulling the ship out of the water.
No, this is fresh.
Because there's been tides, I would assume.
Oh, that fresh.
Is it going? You said going to the ship?
It's hard to tell.
We don't know.
Between the ship and the water.
Yeah, well, that's
So since the last
maybe if I had
tides,
gotten a 20 or more.
someone has gone to and fro between the water and the ship. We don't know which direction.
Yes.
And multiple trips, multiple people.
Maybe.
Were they removing something from the ship? If they were, that's B&H property. They're very powerful.
It's very
business.
true.
Well,
Someone trying to hide something?
Interesting. Yes, that's what it almost feels like.
I'm not sure why they would
Let's-
crawl.
Yeah.
well,
Or crawling or dragging something. You said like handprints in the sands.
Yeah, that's what it almost looked like. Almost like
Yes.
yeah, almost like like somebody was like pulling themselves through the sand almost
Okay.
Orwell would like to
Maybe
walk the back hemisphere.
of the ship.
No, the rock wall and the
Oh,
sand.
sure,
The back,
sure.
back wall of that.
That's a good idea.
Perception.
Okay,
13.
13. You see. You're like walking through, and there's a point where the beach of this back recessed area does sort of like it's no longer beach. It looks like there are sections of it where the water does wash right up to that rock, and you swear just in like sort of along the sides where that water butts right up to the rock, you see almost like a hole in the rock. It looks like it is below the waves.
There's a hole in there.
I'll stack a couple rocks right there,
Okay.
and then go back to
Well,
wherever they are.
You can't even see how big the hole is. Like,
But
is
you kind of mark the position.
No, I just want to mark
oh,
the
just
position.
mark where it's at.
where
Okay,
it's
gotcha,
at.
gotcha.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
And then go
100%.
back to let them know.
Okay,
So
sure.
Well, I was definitely crawling inside.
I'm
the
in
hole.
the ship as well.
Okay.
yeah, it's fine.
We can say you
Good.
did that kind of as they were.
Or maybe I'll be on top.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
On the deck or something.
Sure.
Is there enough deck to be on top of there?
Yeah, there's still a deck that's intact. So
Okay.
yeah.
So
Is
if
it
you're going
pitched
in, I'll
over?
go up.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. So it is a
I'm
little.
going to go examine the lower portion.
Okay. So it is a little wonky. But you know, you're a cat.
Yeah.
You got no problem staying balanced on uneven footing.
Yeah. So what's up here? Can I investigate a little bit?
Yeah,
Let's
absolutely.
see. What am I trying to see? Anything unusual? I guess. I mean, like anything that pops out to me. I don't really know what I'm looking for. I know I'm looking for Alice. That's the only problem. It's like, what is my motivation for?
You can see that there are still like a lot of this place is still strewn with like personal effects from people who maybe
Okay.
didn't make it or things that washed ashore. There are still like the ship is by no means empty.
Okay.
There's still a bunch of random stuff in here from
Yeah, I think I'm looking through personal items and like maybe the captain's log, if there's that, captain's log or whatever. Whatever, something that pops out.
Sure. So just making like in general sort of investigation.
Yeah, for now, and then I guess I'll wind down. I got a nat 20. Oops. Give it to me all. Give all of it to me.
Well, by and large, what you find are, you find clothing and maybe small, cheap jewelry that's been tarnished and sort of like left behind by people. But while you are sort of like lifting and moving things aside, you do find what appears to be like you're flipping through random like purses and wallets and things like that, and that's when you find the jackpot. You open up a clutch, you pull out a ticket stub that is for one Alice Ramsey, confirming that this is hers. As you leaf through it, you also find correspondence to one James Baxter. But in these, she signs Alice Baxter.
Baxter.
Baxter and
Is it the same? Same spelling and everything?
Same spelling.
I'm not here.
The last thing you find in this clutch,
I don't know. That's what I find in the clutch?
you find one more thing.
Oh, okay.
This is an old, tarnished piece of silver chain. Looks like some sort of pendant. hanging from it in wrapped wire. Like this does not look like something that was made in some high class jewelry store. Even the gem is uncut. Mm-hmm. It is a lapis lazuli gemstone that about yay big, hanging in this sort of knot of wrapped cords, or little metallic thread, keeping it to this chain. And as you look at it, and as you look into this pendant, you see that even as you hold it up to the light, whereas most gems you can see through, you can see the color to it, there is no, it's almost like the center of this gem becomes this dark, deep blue that even when you hold up the light, you cannot see through it.
Interesting.
And I think as you pick it up, go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw, if you would.
Hey, my goodness, I'm rolling hot. It's gonna go bad soon, I'm sure. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay.
18 on the die.
You get a shiver that runs down your spine.
Okay.
Like it is like you just jumped into the coldest, iciest water you have ever been in your life, and it just washes over you in an instant.
Okay. I think she's gonna take a cloth and wrap it around stick it in her pocket. Baxter. Okay. Is there anything else that
That is
pretty much?
You know what? Yeah, I'm sorry. There
No,
is
it's okay.
one other thing. As you sort of proceed through the building, you see a probably 5 foot tall conch shell.
Oh.
Real big.
Is the opening visual? Like I
No, it's like wedged up, kind of in the corner.
I'm just gonna message Horace. Like, there's a really big shell up here. Really big conch shell. Feels like
Now is no time for sightseeing. He'll shout verbally.
okay. All right, you could do it that way. That's fine. Yeah. So.
As you shout.
Jesus. Yeah, I'm looking at this conch shell.
And it's from there that you hear this like
Thanks a lot.
almost like you almost hear these rictus grinding movements. And as you see, not a leg, but a long arm with long appendaged fingers and claws at the end sort of reach out and sort of grab at one kind of corner that it's backed into, and then another, and another, and another, before several arms and hands begin to extrude from this thing, and it uses them to twist its whole body around. And you see that within this conch shell is similar to a hermit crab, but very different. As you see this cluster of human-like arms extending from inside of it, that all seem to be clawing forward towards you.
So, fellas, we've got quite
Oh, I think it's time to roll initiative.
Are we all rolling initiative?
Yes.
Oh. Well, thanks a lot, Horace.
It was going to happen
I
anyway.
don't know. It was.
I didn't just make a monster to have it just sit
It's true.
Gross.
Yeah.
Wait till I describe its head.
Oh, no.
If you're ready,
Yep.
Horace got a 5.
Okay.
Orwell got a 9.
Okay.
I got a 12.
12,
Dirty 20.
30, 20. That is going to be Leofric at the top. And I will say you have time to shout out that you maybe in need of some assistance.
Yes, I say, fellas, we've got a little bit of a situation up here. It has a lot of arms. If I could just get some quick help over here, that'd be very, very nice.
You sound so panicked right now.
She stays pretty calm under certain situations, so she's trying to keep it together.
All right. So you're like within the ship, but like on a.
I'm on the deck.
Oh, you're on the
I'm
deck.
on the
You're on
dock.
top. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So, Leofric is on the exterior of the ship. Correct. Am I able to do a quick climb up
Gi-
to the deck?
Give me athletics.
All right. Sweet. 18.
18. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll use all your movement to get up there, but
Okay.
yeah, you crawl and scale and climb over the top and see what it is that Sylvia was talking about as a strange humanoid-ish head pokes out from this sort of mass of arms and hands. And you see that the eyes have protruded into these weird fleshy stalks that have just the littlest, faintest beads of pupils at the end. And the jaw has split right down the middle and opened up to form these sort of tooth-lined mandibles.
Cute.
I knew something was wrong with this place. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull out my longbow and fire off a shot. This is gonna be a 21 to hit.
L hit.
All right, it's gonna be D8. That's 6 points of damage,
All right.
and then
As you right in the mass of this thing's arms.
so with dread ambusher on my first turn, I can do a bonus action attack. That's going to be a 16 to hit.
16 does not hit, unfortunately.
Okay.
As it clangs off this pretty heavy-looking shell that this thing has.
Okay. All right. That'll be my turn.
Okay. After Leofric, it is Sylvia.
Oh, wow, okay. She's gonna see Leofric come up and she's like, I knew I brought you for a reason. And she's going to, and just says, this just won't do. I don't like this. So she's gonna,
Just won't give you a hug.
ew. You see her kind of do like Spidey Man something, and her palm pistol comes out from her underneath her. And she's gonna aim at the head, hopefully.
Sure.
If it's sticking out, it feels like that's the weak spot. Nope, I rolled a 2. So remember when I said my dice rolls are gonna get bad when it's
Change your dice.
when it's no.
When the time arrives.
Yeah, when the time arrives. So I got a
That's your
7.
investigation dice.
Yeah, I
You
know.
need your
Yeah,
attack
I got a 7. So it just ping
Okay.
right around, and then she's
Goes wide.
gonna prepare to do another one when it's time.
All right. Quick load another one.
Yep.
All right. After Sylvia, it is Orwell. Who you also hear the shout. Everyone hears
Yes.
the shout of.
Well, you heard gunfire too.
Which, yeah, at this point, which way is the boat leaning? Is the deck towards the ocean or towards me?
Towards you.
Towards me. Then I believe, as a warlock, we will Eldritch Blast this thing.
Okay.
Because that's what we do.
It is.
Is what
It
you
would
do.
do.
That's what we do. We have to save these other things because we don't get to do a lot of those.
Uh-huh.
So
Are we all ranged?
that's a nat 1. So that's
right.
not going to work.
Wow, we're all doing
Okay.
really well.
Yes.
Fires off wide.
I did a little bit different.
All right.
Got that one out of the way.
I
Right.
have a whip. Do you have a whip?
Okay. After Orwell, it
You
is the hermit crab's turn. Or the hermit human crab.
Hermit human crab.
Man crab.
Crab.
And this thing pulls and scrapes across the deck as it crawls towards you.
Oh,
So
that's
I
what
think
it
we
was.
figured out where
Yeah,
the
yeah,
polling
yeah.
came
Good,
from.
yep.
Yes.
So yeah, this thing scrapes and pulls towards you with several of its arms, and as it closes in on Sylvia, it is going to attempt to lash out and sort of attempt to grab onto you. All of its arms. Does a 13 hit Sylvia?
No.
Well, it's going to try again.
All right.
All right, dirty 20 has hit Sylvia.
Certainly hits.
Okay.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Okay, you are going to take 6 points of slashing damage as these like claws dig into you. Right, it's to be piercing. And you are grappled.
Okay.
And since you've been grappled by it, it is going to use its bonus action to like pull you into these giant. Its jaw splits open as these mandibles come in to try and take a chunk out of you.
This is escalating quickly.
Help.
Here I go.
Oh, no.
You're gonna kill me, man.
I said he was going to do it.
That's true.
What are you doing?
He's nervous because he knows
It's
how much
fine.
HP I have.
It's fine. We've got plenty of time.
Oh, it's going to be 14.
All right.
It's, yeah, it's going to be 14 more points of piercing damage. As it just like pulls in, bites, tears, and pulls.
Escalating very quickly.
Just hunks out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. After the crab, it is Horus.
All right. So previously, while she was investigating, I was investigating the hold of the ship
Yes.
during this period of time, and then I heard her speak to me, and then shout for help. And so, with my movement of 30 feet, would I have been able to get up on the deck to see what's happening?
Yes.
In that period of time, very
Yeah.
well. And where would I arrive? Would I arrive very close to her, or?
You'd be walking out of, I guess, like the quarterdeck. So you'd be sort of at the back of the ship. You walk out and you're pretty much right next to what's going on. Like you can see it from inside the quarterdeck of the ship as you
So it
look
might be
out.
like 15 or 20 feet away.
Yeah, if you want to be that far away.
No, I'm just asking.
Probably, yeah, probably be about 15 feet.
All right. Very well. I do not like this at all. So I'm going to instinctively shout "drop" at the hermit crab, and it does need to make a save against my commanding voice of a wisdom saving throw. Is it a very wise crab?
And when it rolls a 3 on the die, no.
Okay.
So, yeah, so you say drop.
Yes. When does it do it?
How high up in the air am I?
You're just on the deck, right?
You're not up here or
Okay.
anything like that. Yeah.
No, come on. Does it have to do it the next turn, or like at the beginning of its next turn,
1d6.
right? That's when it can do
Falling.
that.
I believe so. This is just command, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, on its next turn. So
Okay, cool.
That's
All
what's
right.
happening. And I've used my movement. How rough do you look?
I am extremely bloodied.
All right. Then, as a bonus action, I shall lend you a healing word.
7 hit points.
Buck up, old gal. And
Quit being so crabby.
okay.
I mean, it fits.
It's a hermit crab. Oh yeah.
Wait, what's
Oh my
my? You get 6 hit points.
It's literally part of the name. Thank you.
Use
Ah.
up these spell slots
I remember
rather
why I had
quickly.
you around.
And what does the magic denier say as he uses magic?
Well, this isn't magic. This is like, that flows through my divine,
That's fair, yeah.
patron.
Words of pep and
Omnis.
zeal.
Yes. That's not magic. That's just,
It's just worship.
the way the world works. Yes. All right, that's my turn.
Okay, all right. Throwing some hit points back at old Sylvia. Okay, we are back up at the top of the order with Leofric.
All right. So I assume whenever I got onto the deck, I was pretty much right next to Sylvia here, or
Pretty close. You're probably about 10 feet back.
Okay. So I'm still out of its range, technically, right?
Yes,
Okay.
but it's close enough to where it could move up to you and make contact if it so
Gotcha.
chose.
All right. I'm still gonna fire off a couple shots with my bow. That's gonna be a 17 to hit.
Just hits.
Just hits. That's right. It's going to be another 6 points of piercing.
Alrighty.
Oh, actually, can I... Sorry, I should have done this before. Can I do Hunter's Mark on that and add another d6?
Sure,
if
yeah,
you don't
yeah.
mind? If you're okay with it. Still getting used to this character. That's an extra 3 points of damage.
Alrighty.
And then that'll be it.
Okay. So another shot right into the meat of this thing. Still looking okay, but you can tell that it's realized how big of a danger you guys pose. So that is going to take us to Sylvia.
So am I on the deck now? Am I?
We haven't been dropped yet.
You're
Haven't been dropped yet.
Not till the beginning of its turn.
Correct. Yes. So you are still grappled by this thing. You can take your action to break the
de-grapple.
grapple if you'd like.
Would you technically consider we're flanking it if I'm being grappled and he's near it?
No, just because
I'm at range.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And if you had taken a ranged attack while right next to it,
Oh,
would
you
have
did a ranged attack. Yeah. I'm gonna use my bonus action to do insightful fighting on this thing. And I can do an insight check versus the deception check.
Okay.
If I succeed, I can use my sneak attack against the target, even if I don't have advantage.
100%.
So I'm going to do an insight check. Let's see what happens. Dirty 20.
It's like a 4. This thing, guess what? This thing has like a -3 to its charisma. Not charismatic.
Really?
Awesome.
Believe it or not.
Well, hopefully I hit then. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to... My palm pistol I'm not going to use. I'm going to just grab my rapier from my... I guess it's on my back. And I'm just going to try to get him.
Sure.
Get him good. Maybe just try to slash the what is holding me? Hands?
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of arms?
Let me make sure you don't have...
Oh my... No.
No.
No. But that's okay, because I think this
You don't get advantage? Wasn't the point of it?
no, that just would allow me to use my sneak attack if I hit
Oh, I got you.
if I hit it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So you're basically looking for a weak
But this
point,
lasts for
basically.
1 minute,
Cool. Okay.
so I can do that anytime. So I'm still grappled. Cool. I'm gonna die.
Well, that is going to take us to Orwell's turn. And you see Sylvia just like trying to slash and just like clang the sword against this thing's shell.
We will go ahead and fire off another Eldritch Blast, and then we're going to try to move a little bit after that. So we're going to hope for a better result. Nope. Not
Oh my
much
gosh,
better.
We need to start rolling better.
Yeah. We got a lot of role-playing rolls really well.
I know.
This will be
Usually how it goes.
a 2-episode series.
Yeah.
This is not the BBEG, guys. Promise.
So, yeah, Orwell is going to try to keep that in frame so that I can continue firing off Eldritch Blast. But I'm going to start to move in ways so that I can keep an eye out on what's going on. Because everybody else has gone to this, and now with pistol shots and everything else going on, I'm going to keep my eye out for anything else that's coming. If
Sure.
I'm going to be the sentry, I guess. But keeping it with the tilt of the boat so that I can continue keeping it in eye line so I can keep firing on turns.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, absolutely. And you manage to do that. You get yourself to where you can kind of see out into this cove, but also keep an eye on the fight that's going on up on the deck. Okie dokie. That is going to take us down to the crab. And it is going to indeed let go Sylvia. Now, in Horace issuing this command, you did definitely get its attention. And as it lets go Sylvia, who sort of stumbles back, very bloodied, you don't know if maybe it didn't quite like the taste to you. Maybe a little...
I'm a little furry.
Yeah, a little hairball.
Kind of offended.
Allergies.
But I think it looks to this whale person, another creature of the sea. Maybe tries to come take a little nibble out of you.
Sperm whales and hermit crabs, mortal enemies.
Always have been. And it is going to claw its way over towards you and make its attacks.
What do sperm whales eat?
Mostly squid.
That's why I always ask for calamari. It's a dirty 20 to hit.
That definitely is.
All right. So you are going to be grappled, and you're going to take 4 points of piercing damage. Now it is going to make a second claw attack on you, which will miss. I'm guessing an 11 doesn't hit your AC.
It does not.
And then the last thing it's going to do is going to attempt to take a bite out of you.
Okay.
It's almost another natural 20. But that is a 25 to hit Horus.
Sure.
And that is going to be 10 points of piercing damage. It's just another colossal bite. It just takes a big chunk out of you.
Well, I needed to lose some of this blubber anyway.
Oh boy.
All right.
Okay. And that is going to be it for the crab. It is now Horus, who is grappled.
I'm grappled, am I? Mm-hmm. I'm going to shoot. My movement is 0, but I still have some ways of, moving my arms and rotating, so to speak. So I'm going to, if I'm not already, my back is not facing him, I'll try to kind of wiggle my shoulders so my back is facing this crab man. And an enormous gust of wind will issue forth from my blowhole. A very strong gust of wind, 60 feet long and 10 feet wide. This creature will need to make a strength saving throw as it begins its turn.
When it begins its turn.
Yes.
Okay, after Horus, it's going to take us back up the top of the order with Leofric.
So, they're on the ground, correct?
They're not prone or anything like
No,
that.
but
We're on the deck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
On the beach.
Yes.
we're on the deck of the ship, though.
Yes, they're on the
Oh,
deck.
you're on the deck?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
on the deck.
Oh, okay. My
You
bad.
three are on the
I
deck
didn't-
of the ship.
I'm down on
I
the
didn't know
beach.
you
Oh, you're on
guys-
the beach? Okay.
Yeah. I thought you were both were. My bad. I'm going to take a shot with my longbow again. That's going to be a 19 to hit.
That hits.
Ugh. Come on. 6 points of damage.
Okay. You start, and with this shot, you do begin to see sort of cracks and fissures begin to form along the shell.
That'll be it. Yeah.
All right. After Leofric.
So Sylvia staggers back and gut reaction, palm pistol again. Still having the rapier in one hand and palm pistol in the other.
Get it.
Let's see. Oh, I bet that doesn't hit. 16 probably doesn't hit.
Just misses.
God damn it, dude. Don't want to waste this insightful fighting. She's not having a good day. So yeah, that's that.
All right. After Sylvia, it is Orwell.
All right. We're going to switch up dice this
I
time
know,
for the Eldritch
it's-
Blast. It's good. It's better this way. Nope, it's not better this way.
Wow.
Nope, still not good. And then I will make a perception check to scan
Sure.
the area just to make sure as screams and multiple pistol shots and things. And that's an @1. So we're having a good time over here.
You and I are rolling
We're just-
really well right
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
Just
I'm out of my element. I'm on vacation.
yeah, that's
I'm on
true.
vacation.
Okay. All
I'm not
right.
even supposed to be here.
Sheesh.
All right. After Orwell, it is the crabs.
It needs to make a strength saving throw.
Okay.
Mr. Krabs.
That is going to be a 15.
That beats my DC. So I'm
Alright,
just going.
so it is- yeah, well, you see, it's mostly just like the shell. Like at a certain point, one of the spines from the shell like digs into the wood of the deck, kind of like helping it from scooting too far back. Yeah, that is all well and good. It makes it save, and it is going to attempt to likes to taste a whale. So it's going
Does
to...
that not use its action?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I didn't think so. Unless it... Does it
Just-
say in the spell?
No, it's
that
just a saving throw.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, saving throw.
Yeah.
All right.
Gotcha.
So we're going to try a couple more attacks here on Horus.
It's fine.
19 and 21 both hit.
Yes.
Okay.
Although... Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's going to be 12 points of piercing damage. As this thing just begins, like, all of its claws being almost like scraping and pulling and scratching and just sort of like rending flesh from you. And then it is going to come in with its bite.
How you doing over there?
We'll see.
17 hits Horus.
Okay. I'm down.
Does it hit Horus?
Oh, 17 to hit. Yes, it does.
Okay.
But I thought that was the damage.
No.
Just because things are going to get a little dicey, I'm going to use, as a reaction, my free hand and reach down to my emblem and grasp this stone bead that's on the emblem and slide it from one side to the other. And so you'll see this bite that you thought was going to land go astray.
Okay. You foresee the ordering of things. You see that you have to survive this fight. You have a job to do. You have a duty to perform. So I will take that. I'll save it to use for later. All right. So yeah, this thing goes to bite, and just the last minute, it's almost like you can see it almost tense and freeze up as the ordering of things comes to your aid to protect you.
Okay.
And that is burned for the day.
Was that 2 attacks that landed on me or just 1?
That would have been 3.
So yeah, 2 did land.
Yes.
I'm sorry, it's been so long. Concentration checks, I get to add something to it or just...
Constitution.
Yeah.
Okay.
Save on both?
Yes.
Cool.
So
Nice.
it's still windy.
Okay. And it's like, yeah, you can... It's like holding on to you in the wind and just sort of like trying to like keep a grip on with all of these arms.
Okay. I hope
What
somebody...
it's so funny to imagine. Is it coming out of your blowhole?
Yeah, it is,
You're just like farting on it regularly?
basically. So as my
Constant.
action, as my turn begins, I'm going to try to escape the grapple.
Oh, right. In this case, you're not. It's not contested. It's just a flat number you're gonna have to beat, and it is a 13.
Oh, it's a DC? Okay.
Yeah.
Do it. 17.
Nice.
Alrighty, you pull free of this thing's arms.
Yes. I will move out of its way
Okay.
with my movement, 30 feet. And then...
Still keeping the blowhole focused
Yes,
on this thing. Okay.
definitely.
All right.
That's my action, my movement. I don't know if I want to burn a spell. Yeah, I'm going to do that.
All right. Okay. After Horus, it is back up to Leofric.
So Leofric's gonna say F it with the longbow. He's gonna pull out his 2 short swords and he's gonna run up on it and he's gonna take some swipes and try and cut off some of these arms.
Okie dokie.
First attack is going to be a 22 to hit.
Certainly hits.
Alright, there's some damage. That's going to be 13 points of damage right
Nice.
there.
Okay, and this thing is immediately looking pretty rough.
Yeah.
Like, you take off several appendages. You just one clean swipe. You just see, like, this hunk of just arms all fall to the ground.
Yeah. That's the way we do it. Second attack is going to be a 25 to hit.
Certainly.
And that's going to be 8 points of damage.
This thing is down to just a couple small clusters of arms that are reaching and scrabbling and trying to claw at you guys. It is still up, but barely.
What color is its blood?
Like
Clear? Is like
it's like dark purple.
ooh.
Yeah, it's like deoxygenated blood. Yeah. Not fun. It's like a rare steak juice. Here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's your turn.
Oh yes. Sylvia takes another deep breath and palm pistols. Hopefully. Just gonna get out on it. Just gonna go ahead and get out. I got a natural 1. So I'm fired. I'm fired from the podcast. Cancel the podcast.
Your weapon is your mind more than your gun.
Yeah. It's embarrassing. I think the gun backfires probably.
Yeah. You go and you aim, and it's just.
Yeah,
click,
I
click.
made it myself, so it
Right.
makes sense. Someone else go.
Hold on, I'll take over.
Right, yeah, okay,
Yes.
all right.
I quit.
The paragon of combat so
Right.
far
I do,
here
but
today.
what's the point, Colter?
I mean,
Place a little phone call real quick. Hey, bro, things aren't going so well here.
Sounds like you should
In my head.
Yeah, sounds like you should have picked a better vacation spot. You hear back.
I'm a rogue, so just whatever.
Hey. That is a 21.
Certainly
I
hits.
disengage.
And 8 points of force damage.
How do you kill it?
Shell just shatters.
All right, yeah.
Just pieces and shatters. They all get carried away in the wind.
Okay, all right, yeah. You see, like, just almost like over Horace's shoulder, this bolt of just pure force goes right past the thing's head into its shell, and all of a sudden you just see the shell explode outward. For half a second, you see this thing's form is just like this horrible, mutated, curved human spine that the head is protracting off of, and almost just like this mass of flesh at the bottom that all of these arms seem to be like pulling out of, and one weird looking disfigured arm that looked like it was coming out of the back that was like holding on to the shell, and that's what looked like it was like holding it in place with. But yeah, this shell just shatters and goes scattering across the deck. And with one more shudder, this is sort of reaches out one last time before collapsing onto the deck.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
she.
says, yeah.
Yeah, she. Oh no, that's wrong time period.
Yeesh.
Well, that was rather. I
Okay.
turn around and start blowing things off the sides of the boat. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry.
Turn off your blowhole. Oh my goodness. Can I look at this thing closer?
Yeah.
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 I want to just like. I want to do like a. I don't know if it's investigation. It might be just like medicine, but I'm curious if this was human first and then became something else. If that makes sense.
That could be medicine, arcana.
Ooh, I'm not good at really either of those. I have a +2 to either of them.
nature.
It's definitely ain't natural.
So. Okay.
So yeah, I'd say it's either going to be medicine or arcana here.
Nope. You know what? I think it's because I'm sitting over here where Rabble sits usually. And
No,
it's-
Colter's in the rabble spot, and
I'm
he's
rabble
rolling just
spot.
fine.
Yeah.
Just don't look at me.
It was another one.
Yeah.
I gave you. Use that.
Hey, you get them out of the way before.
That's true.
You know,
Right.
Right.
That is true.
before later.
Right.
I'm running out of dice.
Before the
Literally
later.
running out of.
Before the later.
All of them are in jail over here. Okay. Got 3 more. Does anybody else want to look at it?
Yeah, I'll take a look at some.
I
I
could look
think
at it from
Sylvia's
the.
a little.
I could look at it from the Arcana
You're
side
bleeding.
of things.
You're busy stitching yourself up
bleeding,
and like.
and I think
Yes.
it's been a while since she's been in a kerfuffle. I don't think it. She's 44. She doesn't really do that anymore.
Yeah.
She's lived a pretty cush, like, private investigator life at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, my favorite enemy is undead. So I don't know if that would go into this. It'd be more of an aberration, as we were talking about earlier. Okay, gotcha. But I'd still like to try and make
Yeah. 100%.
either
Yeah.
survival or Yeah, and maybe even just a flat intelligence to.
Sure. Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
it'd be intelligence based.
No, it's gonna be 7.
I got a 10 on an Arcana check.
10 on Arcana check. Okay.
It's fine.
No, I would say you can certainly tell that you are very familiar with magics that can warp and distort humanoid beings and humanoid flesh and the form of it. And just looking at this thing, I think you can kind of tell that this was certainly intentional. That this was probably a human of some sort before it got mutated.
I will share that with the group.
Interesting.
How dreadful. I'm going to.
So everyone else was identified.
Yes, all
The only missing person was Alice.
exactly identified as either alive or dead, and Alice
And
is
she was the
missing.
other one missing.
Yes.
Did this thing, could you tell what color eyes it had? Did it have any remnants of hair or anything?
Not particularly. Even, like, you notice even some of the skin had started to turn almost like chitinous.
Okay. Well, that's unsettling.
It is. By the way, I'm going to kind of put a reassuring hand on your shoulder and give you 7 hit points.
Oh, well, thank you.
And do the same for myself.
And as you guys are sort of recovering and exploring the rest of the beach here, it is at this time that you guys do see Yagra beginning to return on her rowboat. As she rows up, she gets off and looks at you guys sort of bloodied, standing on the shore.
Can I make an insight check on her?
Yeah, me too.
The way she's assessing us, that we're alive.
Sure.
That was cocked. Doesn't matter.
Sorry.
Oh,
I tried.
8.
So maybe it's this.
Maybe.
She looks as she's more just almost bemused, or she's just like. And as she walks up, she looks at you and goes, "What happened to you lot?"
A lot.
And I think that is where we are going to end episode 2 of Dead Faith.
I got fucked up.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
My dice.
Maybe we'll roll better. Maybe we won't. Who knows?
Someone
Have to
send me
find
new
out.
dice.
Love you.
See ya.